Okay, this fly is called the girdle bug, and it's sometimes called the Pete's wiggly legs, and it's commonly used. This is what it is. It's used a lot out in the West, and it's supposed to imitate a stonefly nymph. I started using it in the Huron River, and it's crazy effective. Uh, I'll either tie, this is currently in green and white. I will typically do this in black, and I'll show you why I'm doing it in green, is really so you can see it. It's green chenille, wire, and just rubber legs, and it's a very, very easy fly to tie. And the sloppier it is, I think, the better it is. So let's go through the process of how to tie that fly. You'll need some thread. Black works fine, black or tan. You'll need some rubber legs, and you're going to need some chenille. And chenille comes typically like in little packets like this. And you can see this one was $2. I bought it at the fly show. Sometimes if you buy it locally, it's like $3 or $4, but you know, that's kind of how much it is. We're going to be tying this on a number 6, what's called streamer hook. And you can see it's a little bit thicker, it's longer. Remember 6, the smaller the number, the bigger the hook. So we're going to tie on our base here with black thread. See, I'm starting it right about here, right above where the hook is. And then we're going to move it forward and just come back a couple times. This just gives the material something to kind of stick to. Okay, so I have that tied on there. Trim that off. Now, this order actually is kind of important. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie the wire on. And this could be, sometimes red wire works good on the Huron. And I'm not sure exactly why. This is just a silver, it's not lead, it's some other material, but it's basically used for weight. And a lot of times this will be tied, you'll see people tie this on first to weigh it down. I use it both as a tractor and a weight. So that's on and it's hanging backwards like that. And then the next thing I'm going to tie on is a couple legs onto the back. And the way that this is tied on is, see, I have one piece of rubber and I lay it flat and I tie it, a couple loose turns, and then bind it down, then fold it over. Sometimes you have to pull it to even it out. Then fold over that top, the one facing forward, and bind that down. And then that'll cause the two legs to kind of face backwards. I'm then going to take some of the chenille. And like I said, this is typically, I'll use black, or there's all kinds of different colors. This sort of green, olive brown, or olive green and a brown is very typical for the Huron River. Lots of stuff in the Huron River is that color. And I tie that in. And then I'm just about ready to go.
Hi.
Okay, hi. And then I take this and I start to move this forward. And I will tie this onto the tip. And see, and we're just bringing it around. And it causes a nice buggy body. And there we go. Wrap that around a few times and then you can trim. And at that point I take a couple more wraps just to make it secure. And now I'm going to take another pair of legs and put it on the tip. And then bend that forward. So, try to catch it. There you go. Have a little bit of a cold. Okay, and that's pretty good right there. I'm happy with that. When that goes through the water, these are going to just flick around. Then I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to wrap it around just to give the body somewhat of a bit of segments. Not too many times. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times maybe. And then I'm going to bind that off. And we'll break this off. That's the wire. And now we're just about ready to finish this off. Now I'm going to take my thread and very widely spiral it back to about 2/3 of the way. I'll take another piece, bind it sort of in the center, and you see how it bends up like that? So I'll take 2 or 3 turns on that, make it nice and tight. Go up a couple segments. And then I'm going to try the other side. And again, it doesn't have to be perfectly even, but just as long as it's around. And then sometimes, depending upon how ambitious I am, I'll take a third one. And I'll maybe stick it another bit of the way forward. And then I'm just about ready. Then I bring this, pull your legs back, bring it up to the front, right behind the eye. Just tie in your head. See, my front ones have kind of lost a little bit of their point there. And then I do some half hitches. And there's the fly. Not very pretty, but when it goes through the water, these legs all just sort of vibrate, and the fish really like it. And that's a girdle bug or Pete's wiggly legs. Sometimes these, and there's lots of different colors. You can change this all around. There's 100,000 variations of this one, and you find which one works best for you.